Welcome back, it's Jenna, and in today's video, I'm going to be showing you 3 exercises that you can do if you're struggling with brachioradial pruritis. So if you're having burning, itching pain in your arms, you may have a condition called brachioradial pruritis. If this is your first time learning about this condition, you'll want to see my other 2 videos that I've done on BP. This is the second video in my 3-part series. In the last video I talked about the top 3 things that I did to heal so that I could be 100% symptom-free, no more burning, itching pain in my arms. I sleep well at night, and I've got back to doing the things that I love to do that I never thought that I would be able to do again, like backpacking. So check out those videos here. I also did a video on my personal story talking about how this condition affected me, how it ruined my life for so many years until I was actually able to figure out a system that really truly works, and that's why I'm passionate about sharing this information with you. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you're finding benefit, because I want other people to learn what I did to help myself heal that took me years and years, thousands and thousands of dollars, seeing so many different practitioners, so many different healers. And in that experience, I never met one person that was actually struggling with this themselves and knew what I was going through. So it's my passion to be able to help you to discover these tools, to heal your body, to get back to doing the things that you love to do. I'm Jenna, and I have been working with clients in this way for over 20 years, helping people to be free from pain and get back to living their lives. So I'm going to be showing you 3 exercises that you can do to take the compression off of that nerve that is pinched in your neck. So there are 2 reasons why brachioradial pruritis happens in the first place. You have to have both of them. This is why it's hard to diagnose and why it's rare. So number 1 is sun damage to your arms, or more specifically, the C nerve fibers in the skin in your arms, combined with what they call pinched nerve in the neck, or stenosis. It could be a herniated disc in your neck, degenerative disc disease, whatever it is, your spine's getting compressed and that's pinching the nerve. Okay, so let me show you an example of what that might look like so that if this is new to you, you can have an understanding of why these exercises might be important and what exactly you want to be doing in those exercises. So in Sally the skeleton, you can see here that she has C5, C6 compression there in the disc. So when there's compression or the disc has been herniated, then that is going to put pressure on these nerves that travel through that space between the vertebrae. So when these transverse processes kind of start to squish together because of that compression, you can think about, jet puffed marshmallows, and if you were to squish them and push down on them, now they are flat. So that's what's happening possibly in the discs in your neck, which is putting pressure on these nerves. And so those nerves travel to your arms, and that's why you're having that burning, itching pain, because it's the combination of the compression on the nerves that come through your neck to your arms, as well as the damage to the C nerve fibers that are more superficial on your skin. And those C nerve fibers transmit the sensation of itching to the brain. So that's why that is going on. Comment below if that makes sense, or if you've had any experience with your neck, with understanding the compression there in your neck or in your spine. So that's why it's important when talking about exercises that you can do to work on spinal elongation to take the pressure off of those nerves. So there are a number of ways that you can decompress your spine. You can do passive decompression, which would be, say you're going to the chiropractor or a massage therapist and they're tractioning your neck. There are devices where you, like a traction table where you get flipped upside down and that decompresses the spine via gravity. But over time, that's really not going to make big changes in the degeneration of your spine. What is going to help you long term is using your own muscles and being able to work on posture. Because if you're tractioning your spine maybe 1 hour a week going to the chiropractor, that's really not going to be doing much for you the rest of the week and the rest of the day where your spine is getting squished. So now the first exercise we're going to do, it's more like a meditation. And what I want you to be able to feel is as if you're being suspended from the top of your head by a marionette puppeteer above you. And it's creating that weightless feeling, that feeling of being light, of being expanded. And we can help facilitate that spinal elongation with the breath. So if you're in a space where you can do so, go ahead and close your eyes. If not, you can keep them open. And I want you to imagine those jet puffed marshmallows that we talked about earlier between each vertebrae of your spine. So not just your neck, your entire spine, all the way up. And I want you to imagine that you're breathing space into each one of those marshmallows between your spine. And it's almost like there's little pumps there in each one. As you're breathing in, you can see them expanding and getting juicier, plumping up. Just giving you a moment to imagine that, to imagine the discs between each vertebrae of your spine plumping up, which is in turn going to create more length in your spine, taking the pressure off of those nerves. Now we're going to visualize more specifically C5, C6. If you don't know where that is, there's a little bump which is C7, and right above C7 is C6. So you can find that bump that protrudes and go right above there, one vertebrae, that's C6, and one vertebrae above there, and that is C5. So we're going to visualize those vertebrae. This visualization practice is really powerful and can be very transformative. Athletes use this. It's backed by science that it actually works. So it's not just woo-woo here. We're actually supporting this elongation of the spine through visualizing it. So just focusing on those vertebrae specifically. Notice what you see there. Notice what you feel in your body as you visualize. Taking a few long, deep breaths in through the nose, out the mouth. And now again, seeing just between those two vertebrae, that expansion. It could be anything that you want to visualize. It doesn't have to be marshmallows. It could be balls of light. It could be really anything that signals that you're creating more space there. So in this first exercise, I'm going to begin by bringing my spine against the wall so that I can feel where my head is in space. And this will be really helpful if you struggle with knowing where your good posture is and how to find that plumb line through your body. So when we bring our head back into the wall like this, it helps to line up our ears over our shoulders, our ribs over our hips, and our hips over our feet. Now, if you tend to have more kyphosis in your spine, which means that you have a curve in your upper back, which pulls your head forward, then you may not be able to get your head to the wall while still keeping your chin parallel with the ground. It may be hard to discover on your own, am I extending my neck in order to get my head back to the wall? So it can be helpful if you can have someone watch you do this exercise, or you could hold a tennis ball between your chin and your chest, and that way it won't allow you to do this in order to get your head to the wall. So if that's the case for you, if you can't touch the wall because you have a curve in your upper back, then what you may want to do is grab a ball, these little toy balls that you can get on Amazon or at any toy store. You can deflate them so that they're not so big, and that way you can put that behind your head, and that will give you some tactile feedback, a nice cue as to where your head is in space, and it gives you something to push your head against so that you can, again, line up your ears over your shoulders. But you don't really need that unless you can't touch the wall with your head without bending your neck back. So that would be how I would suggest finding your optimal posture by using a wall for feedback. So once you find that, then you can practice your good posture without using the wall. You can practice it when you're sitting at your computer, at your desk, when you're, in your kitchen making food. Just throughout the day, remind yourself, check in with my posture. Where is my head in space? Am I holding my head forward? Am I arching my head back? And everyone's spine is different. So depending on your spine, depending on whether or not you have that kyphosis, or you have something else going on in the rest of your spine, then you may need to make different adjustments in your body. But this just kind of gives you a place to start so that you can find that good posture. So now the third thing we're going to work on is to strengthen the muscles that help to pull your shoulders down, and that will help to give you that sense of length. So for that, I am going to use a TheraBand with handles. I will link that in the description below. You can also just use a regular TheraBand, but you'll want something that you can tie the TheraBand with, and I will include that in the description box below. So the band looks like this. It's got handles. There's different weights. I think about 30 pounds should be good for this because you don't want it to be too heavy. If it's too heavy, it's going to make your shoulders tense, your neck tense, and tighten those muscles that we actually want to release and relax through this exercise. I've set this up on the Pilates Cadillac, but you can do this at home, like I said, using your door, and I will pop a picture up here what that foam piece looks like so that you have an understanding of that setup. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is work on my posture that we just talked about, my ears over my shoulders. And now that we just did that exercise, I have a better understanding of how to find that position, of how to find that optimal alignment. So I'm going to find that plumb line. Think about the length that we created in the first exercise, elongating my spine. As I exhale, I'm going to start to pull my elbows down and back. So where we pull down, that phase of the exercise is just as important as pulling back. Pull down and back. And that's helping to disengage the upper trapezius muscle. That can be a really tight overworking muscle that can create tension and pain in the neck and can feel like it's further compressing your cervical spine. So in order to help to relax that, to help you find that length and also to strengthen our lower trapezius, our lats, those are the muscles that help pull your shoulder blades down. They help that upper trapezius muscle, which is commonly overactive, to then be able to relax. So each time I'm pulling down and back, I'm thinking about, again, elongating my spine. So I pull down, my spine grows taller each time. So I would say to do about 15 of these, but just notice as you're doing these if you're feeling tension in your neck. So you want to avoid that. You might want to go lighter. It might just mean your band is too heavy, or do less reps, because it's not about weightlifting. This is really an exercise to practice our posture, to practice that spinal elongation that we talked about, and to help with those muscle firing patterns so that we can relax some of these tight overworking muscles here that have to do with our neck, and help to activate some of those lower muscles in our shoulders, our lats, lower trapezius muscles. It's going to help to strengthen the muscles that we need in order to actually feel longer in our spine. So these are exercises that I would suggest trying every day. See how they go for you. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about the third thing I did so that my body could heal, which was to reduce inflammation through nutrition. I did an anti-inflammatory diet. I'm going to be breaking that down for you, really simplifying it, really making it easy to do and try. So stay tuned for that next video. And if you would like more support with this, feel free to reach out to me. I do online coaching, and I would love to work with you so that we can figure out what exercises would be the best for your body, for what's specific to you and what you have going on. We'll do a few assessments, we'll see how you're moving, and then from there we will map out a plan so that you can be symptom-free and get back to your life. Thanks so much for joining me in this video. Please like and subscribe if you're benefiting from these videos, and I will see you then.